Hello and good day.
Hello and good day.
So in this holographic creation, I believe I'm a Blue Avian, reincarnated here to help with the ascension process.
You have connections to the idea of the beings that you're referring to. You are an Earth human.
Correct.
Remember that reincarnation is an experiential illusion you can have, but everything exists all at once. Therefore, reincarnation isn't really the issue. It's multiple simultaneous incarnations you make connections to draw information and experience from to aid and assist you in this life, exactly the same way they may be doing the same for you or to you for their lives. But everyone exists at once. As an individual physical being, you have never been any other physical individual, and no other physical individual ever becomes you. Only from the oversoul level can an oversoul say, that's my life, and that's my life, and that's my life, and that's my life, simultaneously. Reincarnation can be experienced as an experience, but that's simply a perspective from within the space-time framework.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you are connecting to beings that you are referring to as Blue Avians, but you yourself are an Earth human.
Right. So you answered my second question before
Thank
I asked you. So back to the first question. Is there a planetary system that the Blue Avians currently live in, and is their planet inhabitable?
It is. But what you're calling a Blue Avian is not exactly the way that it's represented in your mind, because it's an interpretation from one dimension to another. They do have some traits that symbolize vibrationally the idea of that color and the species that you call avians. But they're not exactly in the way many people on your planet have depicted them at all. They're very different in their own reality.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
I can, very briefly. You understand the concept that many of you have referred to also as reptilian?
Mm-hmm.
Yes? Don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. In a sense, they were the first hybridization using genetic material from what you call the dinosaurs. Yes?
Okay.
And they were genetically altered to be what you call sentient thinking beings. The reason so many of you are afraid in their presence is because they were evolved from what you consider to be an apex predator. And by being in their presence, their vibration, even though they mean you no harm, it triggers what you call the survival mechanism, because you consider yourselves to be prey in their presence, even though you're not. The idea of the so-called Blue Avians are an evolutionary offshoot of the reptilians, because if you stop and think about it a moment, you know that a branch of dinosaurs on your planet evolved into what you call birds, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, many scientists on your planet are now beginning to more accurately refer to birds as
dinosaurs.
Yes, but specifically avian dinosaurs.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
So Blue Avians are an offshoot species, an evolutionary branch off the idea of the original reptilians, so they are cousins in a sense. Yes?
Yes.
And they look a little different than you think.
Okay, and so was Toth a Blue Avian?
Toth is connected to that, but not exactly. Toth is more of an interdimensional being that has many different kinds of connections.
Okay.
But because Toth has many different kinds of connections, or you might say in your language, presents many different faces, Toth can present a Blue Avian face to someone if that is the signature frequency they're operating on.
Okay.
It's like you can dial up whatever face you need to see from Toth if you're dealing with that archetypal consciousness.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Maybe.
Or are you more confused than ever?
No, I understand that from yesterday's speech that we have one consciousness, one existence, and we create everything within the hologram, and if we need to create something unique for ourselves, then we create it.
Yes.
I'm wondering why the Blue Avian Toth theme is in my creative hologram.
Well, what does it do for you? What does that relationship mean to you? What does it symbolize to you? What does it allow you to do that you might otherwise not do?
Probably help the collective consciousness
All
raise
right.
its vibrational frequency.
So that's the particular permission slip that works for the vibrational frequency you chose to be operating on, yes?
Yes.
Because you will call forth whatever symbol works. It's like looking, in a sense, at reality as if it is a living holographic tarot deck. You understand?
Yes.
Because it's all a reflection of different levels of consciousness, the collective consciousness, smaller group consciousnesses, individual consciousnesses. You will call forth whatever symbol represents who you happen to be at any given moment, what vibrational level you're operating on, for what it is you're accomplishing in that moment. And it will switch dynamically. Even when you consider the idea of past lives, reincarnation, it's still a dynamically changing thing. You can actually unplug from one life and plug into another one, so that one moment somebody might say, well, you had a past life in so-and-so. A week later, the same person might say, well, I don't see that one anymore. Now you had a past life in so-and-so and so. It can be true because you unplug and plug into different things dynamically all the time as you change, because you need different things. You need different inputs at different times because you're a different person.
Now, when you said the higher soul,
The higher self. And the oversoul.
The oversoul, I'm sorry, the oversoul.
Yes.
Are there any on our planetary system that we can vibrationally feel currently, or they are higher beings beyond our vibrational frequency
Well,
currently?
you can connect to your own oversoul, but the idea, if you want to stop and think about what this means, is of about the 7.5 billion individual physical beings on your planet, that only represents maybe about 500,000 oversouls.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that help?
That makes perfect sense. Thanks.
I know, that's why I said it.
Thanks, Bashar.
You're welcome.
Hello, Bashar.
Andrew, good day.
Thank you so much for being here.
It is our pleasure and our passion.
So, pursuant to our recent conversation about...
One moment. Do we owe you a happy birthday?
Yes, thank you. I'm so thrilled to share it with you. Thank you so much for recognizing that and for allowing me to share it with you tonight.
We thank you for sharing it. Please continue.
Thank you. So we recently talked about my high sensitivity to sound and light and some of the challenges that I've been dealing with. And I did some research and I discovered that scientists have found a temperament or a trait called highly sensitive people. And that they say...
Oh, how scientific sounding.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound it, but they found that this is a trait and that it's genetic. And they estimate that 15 to 20% of our population are HSPs.
Well, aren't you unique?
Well, I think I'm curious if most of the people here this weekend are HSPs because...
No.
No?
But it could be different in the sense that they might be sensitive to different kinds of vibrations, not necessarily the ones you're calling out.
Right. So I have a friend who's highly sensitive to energy, magnetic energy, and chemistry or chemicals.
Yes.
And she senses that she's also a highly sensitive person or an HSP.
Yes, but it's not necessarily a large collective term. Sometimes your scientists are saying, well, it's for this reason that we're calling you that, not necessarily for that reason. But many people are highly sensitive to different forms of energy, different frequencies of reality. Their senses expand as consciousness expands. So you're becoming more and more sensitive to different things that were heretofore invisible or inaudible to you, because that's par for the course of the expansion of consciousness and awareness.
And thank you. And how does that tie into abductees or contactees?
Usually exposure to other realities and other dimensions will heighten the idea of your ability to detect things beyond what people consider the norm, because you're constantly exposed to telepathic communication, to alternate reality vibrations of a higher nature, so on and so forth. It does rub off on you.
So when we've had discussions over the many years that we've been connecting, and you told me that during my childhood, I think starting at 2 or 3 years old, I was having contact. And as I got older as a child, around 9 or 10 or whatever, I would always kind of shut myself in my room and be in my own creative little world.
Yes.
Was that part of the abductee experience as well?
It can be. It can be a response to that experience, yes.
Okay. on a different topic,
Yes.
I heard this weekend that there has been a discovery that many pyramids all around the world they've discovered that mica is covering parts of them, essential parts of them.
Yes, it vibrates at a certain frequency that acts as a very, very sensitive resonator to translate different frequencies of energy and step them down into other forms of energy that are more usable in your physical reality.
Excellent. And I'm intrigued by the Bosnian pyramids, especially the sounds that they're making, the music or noise.
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
I cannot at this time. It is not our purview to do so. Someone else will give you that information.
Okay.
In your language, it's not our job.
Right. You told me many years ago that in addition to being part of the group of women that co-created the crystal skulls, that I also sculpted the standing stones.
Now, again, please remember, when you say I, we're talking about you making connections to those people. It's not you. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Yes.
Just to be clear.
Right.
But you are making connections to those people that did create those crystal skulls. We will be talking about the Council of 13 and the crystal skulls in an upcoming transmission in your Oakland area.
I can't wait to hear it.
You will have to wait. Unless you want to simply stretch your senses and leap forward in time, and then you don't have to wait.
This is true. This is true. Was Stonehenge part of that experience for me in creating or co-creating the standing stones as part of this collaboration?
You are connecting to that as well because it is connected to one of the crystal skulls in the Council of 13.
Oh, okay. And I'm curious about EMF shielding for me. Somebody recommended something called the Hedron. Can you pick up on that?
It only will be perhaps about 67% effective. But it might be a start.
Okay. Is there something better I could try?
By starting with that, you will experiment and discover through your own permission slip synchronicity what may work better for you as a permission slip. Just remember, you yourself are the primary permission slip that's actually making the changes, not the device.
Thank you. And my last question relates to something that Linda Moulton Howe just I learned about this weekend, which is Antarctica.
Yes.
And it's just incredible what she has been researching and other researchers such as Emery Smith have been discussing. Can you expand on that or tell us anything about it?
Be specific.
Who are the entities that have created that environment?
One moment. All we are allowed to say at this time is that it is a faction of a different group of beings that you would call grays, but not the grays you're typically familiar with. You have to understand something very important. When we talk about the idea of the grays being mutated humans from a parallel version of Earth that destroyed their version of Earth and stopped reproducing because of it, and had to find viable human DNA in order to create the hybrid species that would perpetuate their culture, you have to understand that they tunneled into your parallel reality, but also not just your parallel reality, which means other parallel realities that also contain different versions of grays also tunneled into your parallel reality. You're not dealing with one particular group of grays. This is one of the reasons why some of the information is somewhat confusing on your planet. They're not all homogeneous. They may be from different parallel realities with completely different agendas.
Well,
yes?
The grays that I've been familiar with tend to be very small, and I think you've mentioned
They're
that
different.
Yeah, and that part of that was genetic to adapt to their underground environment.
Yes, originally.
But the entities in Antarctica created 80-foot ceilings, if I'm not correct.
That is for a very specific purpose that has to do with certain kinds of technology that they understand.
So how tall are they, or were they?
They're not much taller than you. But the idea, on average, humans we mean, but the idea is that they have certain kinds of technology that demand large enclosed resonating chambers to create certain kinds of portals.
Can you tell us how they created those spaces, those buildings?
They were transported from parallel realities.
Through sound?
Sound may be a side effect of it, but no, not fundamentally. It is a different kind of energy manipulation. More electromagnetic, more electrogravitic.
When did they do this? What was the period of time?
About 10,000 of your years ago.
And are they coming back?
They have never left.
So they're there, we're just not able to visibly see them?
Not all the time because of the portals. They know how to shift themselves to different frequencies that are beyond your range of your senses.
Will there be a time in the future or a parallel reality where we will connect with them?
There will be a time when you may know of them. That is a higher probability than actually connecting with them, although there may be some incidents where some people are capable of doing so. But that's another story at another time.
And finally, what's their purpose for doing all of this?
That I cannot tell you.
Thank you.
We are not alone.
Hello and good day.
Hello and good day.
First, I wanted to show my appreciation for doing and sharing all your knowledge.
And our appreciation to you as well.
Thank you. I have a question that I've been hearing you saying that we as a spirit dreaming.
Yes.
As a human physical.
Yes.
And then you just explained to us that actually we're sleeping while we're awake, and then we're
awake while you're sleeping.
Yes. Okay. And then difficulty for me is that as I am, my understanding of myself is a spirit being having human experience as I am in this physical body.
That's the same thing.
Right.
But you're not actually in the body. Your body is in your spirit. It's just that you focus part of your spirit identity down, and then that particular focus becomes your physical experience. So the spirit is creating the physical body out of its own material. It's like the idea of, I know this is a crude analogy, but the idea of water suddenly focusing a part of itself as ice. And the ice is the physical experience. But it's not like the water is in the ice per se, even though the ice is made of water. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, yeah. So ice is the water. Water is the
You
ice.
are spirit in physical form. It's not that your spirit is in your body. Your body is your spirit in physical form, a part of it.
So how are we forgetting that we are a spirit?
Because the idea is to forget. The focus is so strong. The belief systems that are created within the physical mind are so strong because they have to be that strong in order for you to actually have a physical experience, because physical reality isn't real. So you have to have belief systems that get you to forget that physical reality isn't real, or you can't have a physical experience. It's just an illusion. It's just a dream. So belief systems reinforce the idea through emotions and thoughts and behaviors and experiences that physical reality is actually solid, and it's not.
Okay, so I understand that we are paying more awareness is shifting to the physical rather than the spirit. How do I shift that and expand and have a
You remember the
transition?
formula?
Mm-hmm.
You follow your passion to the best you can with no insistence or assumption on the outcome. All the rest falls into place. That's how you raise your frequency. That's how you expand your consciousness. That's how you expand your senses to become more aware of the fact that you're creating this reality, and then space and time become more flexible, more malleable, more plastic. You begin to see that it's an illusion. You become lucid in the physical dream, and you can manifest things more consciously because it is simply a projection of consciousness.
So it is a gradual shift. It's not
It's
like
as
one
fast
morning
or
you wake
as
up.
slow as you need it to be
I see.
for you.
I see.
Does that help?
Very much so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It seems very easy for me to get insights and ideas all the time for myself and other people.
Yes.
But I feel a lot of resistance when it comes to writing things down or putting them into the physical. It might be through trauma from school or but it feels like it's my highest excitement, and also I'm dealing with that resistance a lot.
It's highest excitement to write them down?
To write and to create, instead of just having them be
All right.
in my head.
Then let's examine the belief system behind the idea. What is it you're afraid will happen if you write them down?
It feels like, for some reason, I'll get attacked.
By whom? Some nebulous, unknown people somewhere, somehow, who will suddenly find you and hate your writing so much that they have to attack you because of the things that you're saying? Is that what you're afraid of?
Yeah, it definitely feels silly when I bring awareness to it.
That's what happens when you turn on the light. The beliefs become nonsensical. Yes?
Yes.
You see them for what they are. They become transparent. And as soon as it becomes nonsensical, it's gone. Because you don't hold on to things that make sense unless you have a belief that says holding on to nonsensical beliefs makes sense to you. That's the only reason you would hold on to something that doesn't make sense, that's out of alignment with your truth, is something within your motivational mechanism, within your psyche, within your belief system says, if you let this go and move forward, something worse will happen. But it's just a belief. It's just a negative belief attempting to perpetuate itself. That's the way they're designed. Because if you don't have a belief designed to perpetuate itself, you can't continue to have a physical experience. But you have to understand that being a negative belief, it has to perpetuate itself with negatively oriented tools, such as fear, to reinforce itself and make sure you don't let it go. You have to see through the smoke and mirrors. You have to see through the illusion of that and know that no matter how real that fear feels, it's just the way the negative belief has of not letting you let it go. That's all it is. And in fact, the more scared you get, the closer you are to letting it go, because now it's working even harder to make you more afraid to let it go.
Perfect timing.
Make sense?
Yes,
Do you feel a little more inclined to write?
I do.
Are you sure?
I am. I'm ready.
Do you know that the people that need to receive your writing will then be capable of doing so, even if there are people who do not wish to receive it, who may even judge it negatively, who may even say hurtful things about it? They're not your audience anyway.
Yes.
And if you are not giving your gift, you're depriving those who are waiting to receive it. It's not very nice. Yes?
Yes.
Is this making some sense?
It does.
Are you feeling a little more relaxed about the idea of writing
I am. Thank you.
and putting yourself out there?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Anything else?
I got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
Hi to you. Good day.
I'm starstruck. No pun intended.
A star struck you? Was it a meteorite?
I just can't believe I'm here since I've seen you about 50 times on YouTube.
Oh, all right. Well, obviously you can believe it or you wouldn't be here.
So I have multiple questions about this topic.
Yes. Which topic is that?
This topic is about, I am part of the Saint Germain Foundation,
All right.
which is the I Am activity. Are you
Yes.
familiar?
To some degree.
Well, I guess the first question I have is that, you know, the Saint Germain Foundation is based on Ascended Master instruction.
Yes.
And, well, that's for people who in the room might not know.
Oh, all right.
And
Now you all know, yes? All right.
And I have to say that I've studied so many different things. I've been in different groups and
Yes.
all kinds of different things.
Yes,
and
yes.
And I would have to say that to me, it seems like the most pure teachings on the planet.
Yes. For you.
Yes,
For
me.
you.
For me.
Yes.
For me. So part of what the Saint Germain Foundation is about is connected with America.
All
And it's
right.
about saving America to save the world and
Saving, yes.
so I wanted to know what your thought was about, in the teachings they talk about Saint Germain and the violet consuming flame being the authority for the next 10,000 years.
Do you understand what we talk about when we talk about permission slips?
Tell me.
Okay, I will. Permission slips. Oh, are you paying attention?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, all right. All tools, all techniques, all rituals, all objects are permission slips that your belief system aligns with in such a manner as to allow you to give yourself permission to be more of who you are. It doesn't matter what the permission slip is. It's up to you to align with it. That's why you're attracted to it, because at the moment it aligns with your belief system. But you are the one making changes. You get to interpret it in whatever way works for you. And as you said, by investigating many things, you can take a piece of this and a piece of that. You can take a piece of what we're saying or not. You can combine them into a new form that works just for you. You can be your own Saint Germain. This is exactly what Yeshua was actually talking about when he talked about the idea of I am the way. He simply meant this is the way, and that means be yourself. He did not intend to create Christians. He was telling you you're all Christs. So Saint Germain is the same idea. There will be different interpretations of this that work different ways for different people with different belief systems on your planet, or not work for them, because it's simply another permission slip given by the archetypal collective consciousness symbols that represent all the different belief systems on the planet and present these ideas in a myriad of ways so that it will work for everyone in their own way. If there was only one path, there would only be one person. Look around.
So what do you have to say about ascension? Since they do give
Ascension is just raising your frequency so you can start perceiving reality in a different way. You're in the middle of ascending just by exploring your consciousness.
Well, they talk about purifying the body.
Yes.
And also being harmonious. And
yes, nothing
et cetera,
wrong with that. And again, when you do raise your frequency, you will probably gravitate to do those things automatically because it will feel natural to you in that state to do so.
So you don't...
It's not about forcing yourself into the state. It's about allowing yourself to go into the state and then having all the different things that come naturally with that state start to feel natural to you to do.
So when they talk about the Kumaras walking the earth once the axis changes, do you see that that will be approaching soon?
You are in the middle of the transformation. And as we said, you will find that many things will change between now and your year of 2050. But the idea is to understand this. Remember when we talked about the idea that there are multiple infinite parallel versions of Earth that simultaneously coexist?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are now experiencing a literal physiological splitting into those parallel worlds. It's why there are more shakeups, breakups, things falling apart, old systems drifting away, all sorts of chaos going on your planet, because those parallel realities are actually now splitting, and whatever vibration you are is what determines what parallel reality you start experiencing. And in the years to come, even though you can still see people living in parallel realities on Earth that might be vibrationally incompatible with yours or different than yours, in the years to come you will no longer see them when you are ensconced in your own parallel reality. Remember, you never change the world you're on. You change yourself and you shift to other versions of Earth that are vibrationally more reflective of the change you made within you.
Wow.
The world you were on is still existing, and the people that didn't want to change out of that vibration will continue to exist on it and experience whatever is, excuse the pun, germane for that reality.
So when they talk about the millions and millions that will come into the IM activity, and yet we see like 5 people maintaining entire huge temples, What in your opinion is that, the reasoning for that?
You will have to ask the people, because everyone has their own reason for doing it the way that they do it, their own belief system about what they believe they need to do in the way that they're doing it.
So it's the belief systems of the collective, of the group.
Yes, of course. There are, as we said, group consciousnesses, group belief systems, group agreements, but that may be the path they need to walk. That's okay.
So they also talk about the third episode of Washington's Vision,
Yes.
George Washington's Vision.
You can break these things down into whatever stories you wish. They are stories that you tell yourself to make sense out of the ideas in your belief system that work or don't work for you. It's all a story. Physical reality is a story you're all telling yourselves, that you're all sharing by co-creating it. But each of you is in your own reality.
So basically the future is true. What David Wilcock says, there will be no religions.
In a sense, that's true. There will be more of a direct spiritual connection to creation and existence itself, because religions really will be seen ultimately in the version of Earth we're talking about. Yes? That moves forward in that way. Religions will be seen as unnecessary, in a sense, middleman objects that don't need to exist to come between you and your direct connection to the cosmos, to creation, to existence. There will still remain Earths that experience not only the religions you already know, but even deeper, more dense ones. Yes? But you will be on the Earth that works for you. Now, you can act as living examples and share with others ideas that can allow them to also know they are capable of choosing the reality they prefer and shifting their vibrational frequency in those directions. But that's all you can do, is being an example that it's possible. You still have to let others choose what they choose unconditionally, because if you're not going to be unconditional to them, why should they be unconditional to you? Is this making some sense?
Well, now I'm more confused.
Oh, good. That may be the beginning of wisdom.
Well, it just...
Because now you are co-fused. You are beginning to see that different ideas can simply be different ways of doing the same thing. In a sense, if you really want to encapsulate and boil all this down, I guarantee you, ultimately, all roads lead home. All roads lead home. Some may take longer than others. But you are infinite, eternal, indestructible beings. There's no hurry. What's your rush?
Well, I guess it was just this higher duty, like, oh my God, if there aren't people here decreeing for America, then who will be? So I guess it's like the last 15 years of my life have been completely dedicated to this, and I'm thinking...
That's fine, but if you're getting tired of doing it that way, it's okay to do it another way that works for the new person that you are becoming. It's up to you. All permission slips are okay.
So America won't fall on the ground if I step out?
No, it won't, but the thing of it is, the America that will be the America you prefer to live in will be what you wind up in. The one you don't prefer will still go on, but you won't experience it. Does that make sense? Remember, there are an infinite number of Americas. Yes?
So I just have to choose which one I want to be part of.
You just have to follow your passion, and that will automatically navigate you into the one that is most reflective and workable for you. That's why we give you the formula. It's a navigation tool. It's your compass needle pointing to your magnetic north. It keeps you aligned with the path you are. Notice I didn't say the path you're on, the path you are. The vibration you call passion, love, excitement, creativity, that is the language of your higher mind telling you this is you. Move in this direction because that's who you are right now. It may change. The excitement may come in another form, because when you change, it may have to come through another way for it to make sense to the new person that you are. It's as simple as that. That's why we simply suggest that you follow the thread of excitement. That is actually the path you are, because that's your body's translation. Passion is your body's translation of the vibrational frequency of your signature essential self.
Yes.
And it comes in the language from the higher mind as energy. The language you respond with is physical action, because physical action is the language of physical reality. So if you're just thinking about it or talking about it, you're not speaking the language of physical reality, and therefore you're not really responding to the higher mind in the language you need to respond to with. Because when you take the action, then the higher mind knows you heard it. You're committed. You're in a dialogue now. You're in a relationship now. You're working together as a whole person. Because a person is a physical mind and a higher mind that work together. If you're only allowing, and I'm not saying you're doing this, so please don't take offense, if you're only allowing the physical mind to control everything and determine everything and are shutting out the higher mind, you are functioning as a half-wit. Make sense?
Yes,
Does this help?
tremendously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good day, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Bashar, we
Yes.
are moving through billions of parallel realities through every second.
Yes.
I once did an exercise focusing on the now moment and focusing on the shifting, and then I ended up in a parallel reality in the body of someone else.
Well, it's not really the idea of you ending up in their body per se. It's a focus of shift of your consciousness expressing itself through another version in a parallel reality that is the representation that has to exist in that reality.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does, yes.
All right.
So does that mean that every parallel reality has an own parallel self?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, not everyone necessarily has to in a way that you would recognize it as such. It might be so different you don't recognize it as another version of yourself.
Okay.
And therefore it might have such a different agenda, such a different theme of exploration that it would seem to have nothing to do with you. But everything is a reflection of everything else. So the answer is yes, but experientially it might appear to be no.
Okay. So in these infinite frames we are going through, what's in there? Is that all about parallel realities of me, or is that also other connections?
Yes, everything.
Everything. Everything
Everything
in
that
existence,
is relevant
or?
for you
Okay.
in this focal point.
Okay.
You are connected to all of existence, but most of it is not relevant for this particular experience.
I understand. So from second to second, or from hour to hour, am I going through the same parallel realities every moment, or is that changing?
What do you mean the same? Obviously you are changing frames.
Yes, but the billions of frames you go through,
Yes?
are they now the same as 5 years ago?
No.
No.
How can they be? Otherwise, you would be exactly the same as you were 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Which does exist, but that's not you now. That's not your focus now.
No.
So by definition, the very fact that you conceive that there is a difference called 5 years ago tells you that they're not the same frames. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that concept of 5 years ago. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any difference you make is a different reality, because the smallest change is a total change.
Okay.
It may seem to be only slightly different from the last reality, but it is a completely new reality.
Okay, so what you say is that if I make a change, all billions of frames make a change.
No, you are allowing the different frames to come through you in the order in which you need to experience the concept of the change that works for you. Okay. It's not that the frames are changing per se in and of themselves. Remember, the structure never changes. The frames are the structure, but you go through them in a different route.
Okay, that's what I meant.
Yes.
Yes. So what is the mechanism? Is it through our beliefs that we focus on a certain frame?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that creates the energy, it creates the reality experience, and that is the reflection of the frame that comes from what you believe to be true in physical terms. Yes.
Yeah. And if I would have a disruptive experience, so...
Define disruptive.
Well, now it all looks like continuous flow.
Yes,
I'm moving
yes.
my hand, but if I would, let's say, have something, and it's now on position A,
yes.
and in the next frame I would like to have it in position B.
Yes.
without seeing the movement.
You can do that. That's how we travel from star to star.
So, is that through beliefs?
Well, in a sense, it is our collective knowledge. Because remember, knowing is above belief.
Yes.
Yes? So we know what the structure of existence is like, and therefore we can use it to our advantage to do that. The way we typically explain that idea in your terms is to understand that we don't see objects existing in a location. We see location as one of the properties of an object. So if we change the locational energy variable in a project, then it has to start existing at another place because it has now a new locational variable. Does that make sense?
It is.
So it appears as if you're skipping over frames. You're not really, but that's the experience you get, like you're skipping over frames.
Yes.
Because you're just going to the frame that makes sense for what it is you just created as a shift in frequency.
Yes. So are you saying that we can't do such a thing without having the knowingness?
What I'm saying is you're doing it already all the time. That's how things change. We just understand that's how it works, and therefore by understanding that you're already doing it, we can apply it in different ways on grander and grander scales.
Okay.
Yes, does that help?
Yes, that is. Another question. You were talking about healing yesterday.
Yes.
So if you see a disease as a message from your body consciousness.
Yes, it can be.
And you go to a healer and you think, well, let me get healed by this person.
Yes.
Does that mean that if it's caused by beliefs, that also your beliefs have changed if you are healed?
Yes, because you're willing to match the vibration the healer is giving off that represents the healed state, but you have to match it. That's why a lot of your master teachers didn't ever really say, I healed you. They say, your belief has healed you, your faith has healed you.
Okay. So they give out the frequency of the belief,
yes. And you match
it, and that
you heal
changes
yourself.
Your belief.
Exactly.
And heals yourself.
Yes, and that's why no healer has any business determining what a person should do with that energy. It's up to them to decide whether or not to match the frequency or not. Beyond that, the healer has done everything they can do by just giving off the frequency.
Yes.
Does that help?
It is, certainly. Thanks, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Hi.
And to you, good day.
Good. Hello. My question is there, on Earth we call them twin flames. Is that something that's real, or is that something...
In a sense, yes, it can be, but we understand that many humans kind of get caught up in that to their detriment because they don't understand exactly what that can be, because anyone you're interacting with at any given moment that's reflecting something to you need to know to become more of yourself is really at that moment your soulmate. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, there can be such a thing as an agreement between spirits that, yes, they will meet, they will match, they have arranged this, they have caused this to come into being because they understand that they need to reflect things to each other in a very specific way, and you can call that, a twin flame. But watch your definitions, because they can get you into all sorts of misleading assumptions about what that is supposed to mean and help you ignore all the other help and reflections you're getting from others who could be being your soulmate and twin flame at any given moment.
Okay, great.
Does that help?
Mm-hmm. And then the next question is the sacred feminine. Can you talk more about that? Or, I mean, I know it's made up, I guess, here on planet Earth, but...
Well, it's the idea of receptivity, of nurturing and support. It's the idea of allowance. It's the idea, in a sense, of that which expands, that which grows. Yes?
And so there's a lot of talk about rebalancing this planet because there's too much toxic male energy.
Yes.
And the need for the sacred feminine to come in to balance that. Can you share some?
And that's why you're seeing more of that. But you're also seeing it in the idea of multiple gender expressions as well.
I see.
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, great.
So yes, that's what's happening for those that are on that path. They're beginning to experience this idea and see how they respond and react to it, to find out what their positive and negative beliefs are about themselves by facing those things. and letting go of the things that create the toxic belief systems within them.
Okay, and the last question is, you said something about, obviously love is the highest frequency, and to sort of get out of the way.
What you interpret as the idea, the experience of unconditional love is your translation of the vibration of existence itself.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How do we consistently stay in that frequency?
By asking yourself the question of why would you ever choose to leave it?
Okay. Why would I ever choose to leave it?
Yes, because you're the only ones who give yourself reasons to leave that frequency.
Otherwise, just to be always present, knowing that you're there.
If there is no other logical, sensible choice, you will never leave it.
Okay, so why am I leaving it?
Yes.
And then you go back.
Then you
instantly.
can go back when you find out what the reason was you created for leaving it.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Now, in reality, of course, you never actually leave it, because it's impossible for you to disconnect from existence. It is simply that the unconditional love is supporting you so unconditionally, it allows you to believe that you have left it. But you are using your connection to unconditional love to play the game of not being within unconditional love. That's how unconditionally loved you are. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Look for the paradox in these things, and you will find your point of power.
So these two extremes in the center is where the point of power.
When you understand how paradox works, for example, when you feel out of control, you're controlling that. So you're in control. So it's not about having to learn to be in control. It's about choosing what you prefer to be in control of. When you feel you lack trust, understand the point of paradox. There is no such thing as a lack of trust. You have to always trust something to be true, or you would have no experience whatsoever. So you don't have to learn to trust, it's automatic. It's about what are you trusting in. Doubt is not a lack of trust. Doubt is a 100% ironclad trust in something that's out of alignment with your truth. So you never lack trust, you never lack confidence, you're never out of control. You are using control to create the experience of being out of control. You are always confident about something, even if you are confident about not being confident.
Okay.
And you are always trusting something to be true. There is no such thing as a lack of trust. There is only a trust in lack. Okay. Choose what works for you instead of what does not. Does that help?
Yes. Very last question.
Yes.
You said that there's no hostile alien groups here, right? And so this idea of implants, where did that come from?
Well, it does come from the Greys, but that's not a hostile act.
They're just doing it to...
It is an observational mechanism. It is a location mechanism. It is a data gathering mechanism.
And why do they choose certain people to track?
Family lines have certain genetics that make for better templates for the hybrid species that they're creating.
All right.